All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing? Everybody good? Let me make sure that my sound is coming through nicely. One second. I am excited this evening because I know that we are going to have some good conversation this evening. Uh, why? Because it's Wednesday and it's time for us to stretch again. Time for us to get to a place where we can think better, think higher, and be challenged in our way of in which we see things. Over the past few weeks, we spoke about how you and I can continue to pursue our dreams and what it is that you and I need to do to get a little bit closer to that reality. Um, Give me one second. Let's see, where are we? Is there any sound? Awesome, sound is there because I want to make sure I don't speak to myself. All right. I hope that your week has been okay. I hope that you had an amazing week so far. It's we halfway through Wednesday, so Friday is coming. But uh, but thank you so much for watching this. If you are watching it after it's being broadcast, it's good to have you. Hopefully, you will enjoy the session and find it useful. Okay. Now. Last week we've covered and when we spoke about the reality of your dream, is how real is your dream to you? Is it kind of like a pipe dream? All right, let me bring my brother in here quickly. But
Hello. Good
yes,
evening.
how are you doing, sir?
All
Good to
right,
see
thank
you.
you. How are you?
I'm very well. What about yourself?
Okay, thank you. Apologies. I had other domestic distractions.
No, no
Today,
worries, no worries.
that's fine.
We gotta make sure we everybody is settled in nicely. You might
Yeah.
still hear some background noise here from my crew, but I'm sure we'll survive
Yeah.
it.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Well, I was just saying to the guys, it's good to be back because Wednesday comes very quickly, man. Very,
Yeah,
very. It's just like you blink and we are back again.
it's there. Yeah, and that's how fast life is going as well.
That's it, man. That's
Believe
it.
it
It's
or
like
not.
um, uh, I see the hairstyle is getting sharper and sharper every time.
Yeah, I just thought step it up a little bit,
Come
but
on now. Hey, I need to take notes. I don't think I'll reach there because I think my time is out. I just have to like deal with that and just accept
not
it.
not in 2022.
No,
Anything is possible,
ah,
you know.
I'll keep on praying, my friend. I keep on praying.
Transplant, transplant. One of the pastors I listened to so many years ago. He said, in the Bible that Philip was moved from one place to the other
Yeah, yeah,
without by the power of the Holy Spirit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He said these days, if you want to fly, you have to go and pay your flight ticket because there's plane now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That the Holy Spirit did it then because there was no there was no plane. Now that there is plane, if you really want to fly, put your money together and buy an aeroplane and
Just
buy
go.
an aeroplane ticket.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there you go. So there's a solution. There's a solution. You
Okay.
just need to pay them 4 grand or something, and they will.
Just
But
figure it. Yeah, just gotta figure it out. Maybe even my hairline might even come all the way down here, bro.
absolutely, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Zero wrinkles, nothing on your face. You just be looking very smooth. They would say, "Oh, glory! This is oozing of the anointing." They don't know
That,
the anointing is powered by some
that's it. That's it.
like pounds and pence.
Awesome, awesome. Well, gentlemen, we are on here to have fun. So if you are getting annoyed, please don't get annoyed. If you jump on, you can join the conversation, isn't it?
No, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. But we are going to continue this evening once again. We are digging into talking about our dreams and how we can make it a reality, and how we can bring it into the physical, into this physical realm. Because for it to be only in our hearts and in our minds, and it's like, where's your dream? It's in my heart. Let's see if we can get it to manifest, because that's what we're after. That's what we're after. So this week, I want us kind of like to just have a look at what is the pathway. I think this one is going to be very kind of like a practical session, to be honest. Or it just depends on how the conversation goes, because it's like, what are the things that you and I need to do to actually see that dream come to pass. Last week we spoke about the reality factor. Whether what it is that we are dreaming about, whether we can make it a reality, or are we kind of like just having a pipe dream? How possible is it? And we had some good conversation. If you've missed that session, please do jump on last week. Just go one back. Just go one back, and you will see that session there. But today, the question that we're asking ourselves is, do I have a strategy? Do I have a strategy to reach my dream? Because securing my dream, it requires a plan. It requires a plan, and it obviously brings us back to our favorite words: is are you being intentional about your dream? Do you know exactly what you need to do for the next 2 weeks, for the next 2 months, for the next 2 years to see that dream manifest, or at least take some kind of form or shape? And I guess also the question is, what do you have to do in order to begin your journey to fulfill to the fulfillment of your dream? Because there is a journey. It seems like this few weeks journey has been something that has been coming out of my mouth quite a bit. I was sharing the word yesterday at church, and I was talking about the journey of growth. And yesterday, I kind of like put something out for me and the missus, and we also talking about the journey. It's like, this journey thing is all over the place.
Yeah.
Because life is a journey. Life is
absolutely silent whispers.
That's it, sir. That's it. And I think if we even look at it in that way, because the reality of it is, life is a journey. It's not like, okay, it's not 100-meter dash from here to just 400 meters or even a marathon. This thing will take us a while. And I think even with that kind of a mindset, we will not put unnecessary pressure on ourselves. But even though we put the pressure, but not unnecessary pressure, that we get discouraged and we kind of like decide, all right, I think I'm not doing a good job. No, it is a journey, and we kind of like have to continue to treat it in such a way that we always have the energy to continue to push on it. So that's the conversation that we are going to have this evening, talking about the pathway and the strategy that you and I can follow to fulfill our dream. Now, I'm gonna kind of like just put a couple of things out there, sir, just to get the conversation started.
Go for it.
And then kind of like we'll just build around that. The first thing that I want to highlight is state all your positions. Okay, state all your positions. Your journey begins by evaluating where you are. And I guess when we asking ourselves, state all my positions is, all right, what is present right now in my life that I can actually use? It's almost like knowing, you kind of like have to describe the place where you are right now, because each and every one of us are at a specific place right now in terms on whatever it is that we're working on. Yeah. And we need to identify that before we can even start the journey or start that pathway of fulfilling or walking towards our dream. That needs to be very clear. Am I starting from here? Am I starting up there? I have enough resources to get me going. Do I need to rely on other people to get going? Do I need to go and borrow? Do I need to go and pray? Do I need to go and cry? What do I need to do to start going? And I think because sometimes we just have the dream, but we don't even know whether we have the resources to even start going. Now, what will my dream look like when I have achieved it? These are all the kind of questions that we have to ask ourselves. So we're kind of like stating we are looking at all the positions. So all of this questions that I'm posing here, it's me trying to figure out the position that I'm in. Okay. So even when I'm getting to the other side, what will my dream look like? There's also another position. Yeah. And what steps do I have to take to go from where I am to where I need to be? What are the necessary steps? Okay. That's also another question that you and I have to ask ourselves, because I think the more questions we ask ourselves, if you can't answer the question, it means I have to go back and I have to go and dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not clear as to where I am, what are the resources that are available to me, it's almost like when I hope for something, because even the Bible says that hope defers, it makes the heart sick.
Yeah.
But if I decide to go on a journey of growth, and I run out of resources and I run into difficult times, then it's almost like it's easier then to come up with an excuse to quit. And that is something that we don't want to do. There's a quote by a lady called Mary Webster. She says, "Settle your dreams before you ride them." It's because you have to make sure that you are getting on. When you get on that horse, you must make sure that you've settled it nicely and you've planned, you've set yourself some goals, you have understand how far you can go within yourself. I think that is very important for us. So let's kind of like just look at that from that perspective. Number one, which is state all your positions, where you're at. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
All right, very interesting topic. Scott, between taking notes and gathering my thoughts together, but that's really crucial. Taking stock. Every change is a result of self-realization, self-reflection. That's where change comes from. You cannot achieve any change from just living life the way it is. Like, I don't know about you, like I've lived this year. Every single day you're coming out, the month is running out, you have targets, but they're not really, they're targets, but if I achieve it, it's okay. If I don't, well, we go to the other month and try again. That doesn't really bring any change. What actually brings change is self-reflection, because you look at the Bible, where you look at the Bible, the story of the prodigal son. That's whatever decision he made afterwards was as a result of self-reflection. He looked at himself and he thought, I cannot be here and continue to eat of all this nonsense. And whereas my father is rich and he can do whatever it is, I'm just going to decide and go back, because even if I take the position of being one of the servants, my life will still be better off. So if we do not make that our foundation, then we will unfortunately not get anywhere. That's a very, very strong point that you made there. once you go through self-realization, self-reflection, then that helps you to take the next step, which I will call taking responsibility, because nothing is going to change unless you decide that it is your fault. And this is part of the conversation that I have with people, and sometimes it's really difficult to have it because, you know, when you assess situations, things that have gone wrong, you can actually pinpoint things that made it impossible for you to achieve it. You can actually point fingers at people that stopped you from achieving what you want to achieve. But if you do not take that stance that, look, whatever it is that's happened is my responsibility, and whatever it will take to move forward is also my responsibility. And I say that because you can blame the whole world as much as you want to blame them. It is still your life. It's your responsibility to get things going. Therefore, if you do not blame something that you have control of, then you end up wasting your time. You know, because blame, all it does, it comforts the fool. That's what it does. You know, sometimes it makes sense, like I said earlier. You know, somebody stopped you from doing this, somebody stopped you. But what I use to direct my thoughts around that blame is, all right, if I go and call that person, if I go and attack that process that I believe has kept me here, will I be able to win? Number two, does it make sense that I am now, offshoring my responsibility to somebody else? Even if you're able to do that, who do you think will be able to carry your burden, will be able to help you to achieve your dream? Don't forget, we're all chasing our dreams. So you see how we can protect the start of the journey. Because tonight we're talking about the pathway. First, we've talked about the fact that we have to self-reflect. We've gone to the step of taking full responsibility of that journey, because things are going to happen along the way. And if you do not take full responsibility, then you will be tempted to go out and you blame other people who made it not to work. And guess what? Those people might be somewhere else pursuing their own dream and succeeding. It will be very terrible if we get to the end of life and we have so many people that we can validly blame, but we have achieved nothing. Now, once we get to that stage that we now know that it's our responsibility, we need to crystallize the things that we're looking for. I was listening to a book today on, visualization, which looked like it sort of aligned with what we are talking about today. We've talked a lot about journey. Before you start a journey, you go and research. What does the place look like? Where am I going? What does it take to get to where I am going? And how will it feel when I get there? You begin the process of visualization where you write it down, make it plain, as the scripture says, so that whoever reads it will run. Because that way, it's one of those things that so many leaders struggle with when they go there, because you have a vision. It's not clear. If it is clear, your employee will come in one day, day one, and they will look at that vision and they will say, yes, I know where this man is going, and I know what to do to help him to get there. So if you're able to visualize that, make it very clear, so that you put yourself in those positions where you can even feel it, even though you've not achieved that dream. You put yourself in a position where you're waking up every day, you're looking at those things you've written, even if those things are pictures, you're looking at those things and you're already thanking God for providing what you need to begin that journey. So for that provision, you continue to thank, you continue to expand it, until it's as big as possible. While you're expanding the vision of where you're going, it's also time to identify, what do you need? What are the components? What are the activities that we need to complete in order to get to that place that we're going to? Now I'm talking about the roadmap. If you don't plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. What are the roadmaps? Don't forget that plans are not static. They will always change, but you're better off with a plan that you can adjust with as you progress, rather than having a plan, having no plan, or trying to stick to a plan that you have, because you're not live. You're not even Jesus. Everything didn't work out the way he wished that it worked out. He is the Lord, and he's actually God himself. So create that roadmap that sort of shows you where you're going, because I'm coming to another point that I'm going to make, where it is very, very important. Yeah. Now, for you to once you've created that roadmap, most of the things that we want to do, we will not be able to do it ourselves. Because I've had so many stories of self-made millionaires, self-made, and it's all funny. We need people. If you want to, get there quickly, then you need people. You need even get there at all, because your idea alone may not be able to carry you to your dream. There are people who are already there. There are people who are traveling that journey. You need the input from them. You need the inspiration from the people who are on that journey, because as you are on that journey, you're looking for information to inform you on how to navigate that road. You're looking for information or coaching or whatever from those people who have arrived there, because they've seen all the potholes. They can guide you. They will give you that confidence. They will tell you whether you are in the right track or you're not in the right track. So these are the things, I talk about when I talk about, these are the things that I mean when I talk about building a team. So when I talk about building a team, it's not about going to employ 200 people to help you to achieve your dream, but you have to have a rock solid team of people who have the same type of dream, of people who are on the journey of that dream, of people who have achieved that dream. Because there's nothing new under the sun. So the Bible says. So, somebody must have gone in that direction. It doesn't have to be exactly the thing that you want to achieve that they would have achieved. So we go to the other point. The next point, or the fourth point, I think, is the point of creating what you want to see. When you have that plan, you have to create what you want to see to believe that you're making progress. That's very, very crucial. You don't just make a plan and you expect that, for example, your plan is to build a house. So at the end of the day, you build a house. What type of house are you building? How many rooms did you want in that house? What color was your preference? Because you want to get to the end of the road, at the end of your journey, although dream is a continuous journey, but you want to get to a certain checkpoint, and you look at what you've achieved, and you can say, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to achieve. It's very, very, very important, and that enables you to put things in place in order to measure what you want to achieve. There's a quote from what's his name now, Peter Drucker, which says, what is measured improves. And there's another one from this guy called Carl Pearson, which says that which is measured improves, and that which is measured and reported improves exponentially. So if you have this thing in place, what will it do for you? It will enable you to not only achieve what you want to achieve, but it will show you where you're going. Because, you think about it. If we had dreams that we've crystallized for this year, that we would like to achieve this year, this is May, surely you and I will be in a position to say, yes, I'm in the right direction. Or, okay, I am where I'm supposed to be in January, actually. I've not made any progress. Now, whoever you are, that's going to put some fire in you to say, look, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And if you have people working with you as well, even accountability partners or coaches or whatever, they are able to look at you and say, Chidozie, we agreed that by March, this and this and this should have been covered, but you haven't. What's going on? So it's very easy, and you'll be able to recover yourself. Have very short checkpoints as well. That one is also crucial, because if you stretch out your checkpoints to say, oh, I'm waiting for New Year's resolution. When is New Year's resolution day? It's on January 1. You're taking a whole 12 months before you get there. And trust me, if your checkpoints are as wide as 12 months, then what you're going to end up is a dream that continues to be a dream. Fancy. You you're going to end up with that, and that's very terrible for you and I. It's not. If you're looking at checkpoints, you're looking at 2 weeks. 2 weeks standard. That's what most researchers have said. You have to look at 2 weeks. After every 2 weeks, where am I? What am I achieving? You know, what you know, based on the rate, my speed of travel, where will I be at the end of this month? Am I at the place that I'm supposed to be? And mark those things. And then finally, it's brace yourself. You need to brace yourself for the journey. There's going to be so many bumps. There's going to be so many persecutions. There's going to be things that will not work. What are you going to do? Are you going to think that it's going to be, you know, a bed of roses here? You know, Chidozie, well done. It's only you. You have to achieve what you want to. We're all rooting for you. You know, keep going, keep going. No. Even the people closest to you might become the people who are stumbling blocks. So that's why it is necessary to brace yourself. Because if you're actually pursuing a dream that you believe in, a dream that you can see the end, you can visualize, this is where I'm going, then whatever it is that is coming along your way, you'll be able to absorb it, whatever the reason. And alongside that visualization I talked about earlier, what the other thing that comes out of it is, you know, that ability to have a strong why, because now you can see, you can imagine paradise. When the gospel is being preached to you, there are certain things, there are certain rewards and so on that's hanging on it. When you do this, blessed are these people because they are going to, blessed are the peacemakers because they will be called the children of God. And if God be for us, who can be against us? All those things. There is a paradise, there's a place. I'm going to prepare a place and so on. It's there, you know. So even if the other people around you will not see it, you can see it. And therefore, whatever it is that's happening, whatever knocks that you're getting, you're going to be flying. You won't be interrupted because you can see. Your eyes are at that place. That's why Apostle Paul said, forgetting all that is past, but focusing on the things that is in front, the promise of that crown. On that note, I will have to yield the mic, but this is a very interesting topic. Welcome, Mr. Jordan. Thank you.
Mr. Jordan, good to see you, sir. Mr. Chido, thank you so much for sharing this. There's some serious nuggets there. And I just want to kind of like just pick up on what you were mentioning there about us being in a place where we take responsibility. Because if you really look at it, that's where it starts. Because for me to be able to even start walking on this journey, I need to already decide whatever goes wrong, whatever goes right, is on me. And I think in general, we don't have an issue to say, all right, if it goes well, yeah, it's me. But when things start going like, all right, who messed me up? Somebody did not show up, somebody did not call me, somebody did not give me favor. And we kind of like trying to come up with all kind of different excuses. But at the end of the day, it is on us. It is on us. So, Mr. Jordan, we are just touching this evening, and we're just talking about what the pathway is going to look like, us pursuing our dreams, and we ask the question, what's the plan? And Mr. Chido just gave us a nice solid breakdown there. Another question that I want us to kind of like just throw in here, just to center our thought is our actions. Is we gotta examine our daily actions, because I believe that our dreams might be this big, but at the end of the day, is the small daily actions that we take, that little steps that we take every single day that take us closer and closer to whatever it is that we are after. And I think sometimes our dreams can be actually very intimidating. It can sometimes be very overwhelming, because we feel like, wow, how am I going to do this? Because I don't even know whether I'm able to do it, whether I have the capability to do it, whether I have the tools, whether I have the help. whether I have the favor, I don't even know whether. But at the end of the day, if we just take it one day at a time, if we look at, the familiar quote that goes like, "How do you eat an elephant? We eat it, just small chunks, man, just little by little." And I think it's important for us to have that kind of a mindset that we know, all right, if I'm clear on what I need to do every single day, then it will bring me closer to where I'm going. Because action that you and I do every day will be the determining factor in achieving our goals. Because we might have the big goal, but it's like we gotta even ask ourselves this question: what actions am I doing daily that is distracting me? Do you actually know what you're doing daily that is distracting you? That is I believe that's a kind of an awareness. Because if I set out every day to achieve something specific, but I'm distracted, because distractions is what throws us off, isn't it? So, but am I aware what is distracting me? So, which mean if I'm not aware, which mean I'm not paying attention. So I have to pay attention to, what, Kendrick, if you walk through the lounge and the TV's on, and suddenly you say, all right, or you go into the kitchen and you see the kettle, let me just have a drink, and that suddenly it takes 30 minutes from here, take another 30 minutes here, and by the time the day is kind of like, all right, time to pick up the kids from school, it's like, whoa, you've done nothing. That client is still waiting for that mini clip that you promised them for you to send it to them, but you haven't even started. You haven't even started with it. You've promised to send out a proposal for this training. You haven't even done that. Why? What is distracting you? What is the thing that is keeping you back from achieving what you're supposed to have finished that specific day? And I think it's not even so much about working on a to-do list, because sometimes we can just start of like getting into things and do things that that make us feel like we are. You ever had a day where you feel like, oh, it was very busy today, isn't it? You even sweating, but let me just take this off here. But at the end of the day, when you get to the other side, it's like, I haven't achieved anything. I was busy, but I can't even tell myself what I was busy with. So I think that's something that we need to pay attention to. So I want us just to speak into that, guys. I know I've kind of like just put a few bits out there. But I believe it's what we do every day that that will determine how we will actually. Because remember, we are talking about the pathway. We are talking about the pathway to our dreams now,
Yes.
and I think it is what we do every single day. So yeah, just what are your thoughts on that? In terms of just talking about our daily agenda.
Yeah, I think if I can jump in there. Sorry for joining late, but I think on that topic, I think we all find that we've got responsibilities, and the biggest responsibility, I think, for me as a husband, as a father, is the family. And yes, we might have a day job, and everything else needs to fit in between. And sometimes those responsibilities can be such that it's not easily planned throughout the day. So we do end up with, especially if you've got kids, you always got surprises. I find as my kids are getting older, they organizing things with people outside the family. Might be colleagues at work, friends at school. and we seem to be the last to hear about it. So you make arrangements, and they made arrangements, and all of a sudden, you have to sort of ask them further questions to what the extent is. When do I need to drop you? What time? And all of a sudden, you get additional things you have to do. As they're learning, we also find that it's quite busy to get the right time. But like you said, Kendrick, it's those small things you have to do during the day to keep on top of those things that's important for your family unit. Because if everyone gets through their homework, gets through doing their chores for the day, set their own personal goals, and you can be part of it, then you have to do that and your own goals and dreams, achieve that at the same time. And for that, you might have that master plan, that master strategy. But you have to be conscious, I think, daily of the end goal and work on all these distractions and things that might come into play on a daily, on a weekly basis. And I think for me, what strategy I always had was to be conscious about going forward. Yes, there's some days where nothing happens, you don't achieve anything. In your mind, you haven't achieved anything, but I think every day is opportunity to learn and to improve on. And as we see children grow and then moving from one grade to another, them achieving that growth, you can physically see them growing, but also their confidence, how you can see them growing. We go through the same things, but for us, we don't really sometimes see that growth. Because we think we got it all sorted out in our minds how it needs to happen. But that's not how things would work and play out throughout the month, throughout the year. But I think what was important for me always was to work on those small things that achieve the end goal. And the end goal might be a part of the bigger master plan, whatever strategy or dream you have. The only challenge was timing. We're not in control of the timing of achieving those goals, those little goals that ends up achieving our dream. So the important thing was really to know that you're not going backwards. And as long as I knew that there was a plan and a strategy and that we were moving forward, I think it was important that everyone in the family does the same.
Yeah.
Their personal goals, whether it's the youngest child, the oldest one, your wife, whichever child is in the household, that their personal goals and you be part of that. And then your own personal goals also continue. And I think that environment you create of encouragement and support then has to go outside your household into your workplace, into your friendship rings, into other areas of your life. And when it becomes the norm for you to want to influence, then I think you should be in a good position and you should be very proud of where you are. Because sometimes we can forget to realize just how much experience and how much knowledge we've gained over time. And what I always say is other people might not realize how much potential you have in you, but it's more important for you to know that. So that you can have the confidence and build the confidence from there. Otherwise, you'll be explaining and trying to demonstrate all your capabilities to everyone. But to rather stick with knowing who you are, what you're capable of, and how you're going to achieve that. So I think we all need encouragement, which is why I think it's fabulous to share these ideas and to come on tonight to to encourage others not to give up, but to be conscious about
Yeah.
them, about yourself, and what you've gained over your lifetime,
That's right. That's right.
and using that to move forward, because opportunities will come where you can help others and at the same time learn more things about yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to stay focused and realize just the potential in others as well. And being patient, we have to be patient with our children. You must have found. You can sometimes give them the answer, but you want them to go through the journey of discovery.
Mm.
And I had an interesting chat with my daughter about GCSEs, which is coming up next year. So she brought home some printed out old papers from 2020 and 2021. And she was asking us questions as parents, what we think the answers are. And we had no clue. But it just shows just how much potential and knowledge she has to answer some of those questions, and how far she is on her journey of discovery. And I thought to myself, wow, she's got lots of potential here, and she's trying to tap into it herself. I didn't ask her to go find past papers and print them out and bring them home. But I can see that development, that drive for getting ready for GCSEs now already. So even something small like that is significant, because we can see growth. And in our own personal lives, I think we have to look for those clues, and also understand ourselves how much potential we actually have to achieve through patience and through time. Those things we have to achieve.
That's really powerful, sir. That's really powerful. I've talked about this one on here, create an environment of encouragement. And I think that's really important, because I think it's much harder for us to build a dream or to push towards what it is that's in our heart if we are not in the right environment. It's much harder. But once you are amongst the right people, once you are in an environment where the encouragement is there, and I love the way that how you bring the family. We know it's kind of like, man, I'm believing God for that anointing, where I can be with the family in such a way where they can see what I see, and when I kind of like move, because I know that you are pretty much at a place where you are very much involved in your girls' lives, and obviously with the missus and all of that, and I think that's the key, because we are not on this journey by ourselves, especially as married men, as husbands and fathers. We have to get that balance right, because sometimes the wife will look at you and say, you're on a journey all by yourself, isn't it? You're not taking anybody with you, because they don't even know what it is that you're up to. But so I just love the way that you do that. And I think creating that environment where everybody is encouraged, and if we know we are going here, we are doing this because of this, and because of that, and everybody is clear. And it's not like just sitting on this bus and just staring out of the window. It's like, all right, I don't know where that is taking us, but I'm just on this bus. We're just driving. I'm just coming along for the ride. And I think we have to be conscious about it, because just think about it. When you get to where you desire to be, and suddenly you realize there's nobody there. Everybody's jumped off. Everybody's jumped off the bus even before we reach the destination. I think that's one of the worst things that can happen to us when we pursue this dream, but we did not consider those around us. We did not create that environment where encouragement is given, where clarity is given, where a vision is being made clear and goals has been set. I think that's really, really important for us to do that. Thank you so much for highlighting that. That's much appreciated. Mr. Chira, I don't know if you wanted to say something on that.
No, absolutely. Very, very good points there. Talking about looking at what we do during the day and in the journey and so on, whether ensuring that that actually leads us to our dream. And it's a very, very important twist that Mr. Jordan took to this question, which has pushed me to remember something that's really, really important. You know, in as much as it's important that we define activities, define what we need to do to get to where we need to get to. Life circumstances, not just family. There are other things. It might be friends as well. It might be work that got really busy in the middle of pursuing whatever it is that you're pursuing. It's outside work or outside anything else, but something that's personal. It might be anything. But the fact there is we can plan, but God has the ultimate hand in it. And He has a way of creating detours as we travel our life's journeys, which we feel is a distraction. But at the end of the day, you look back and you say, oh, now I see why that happened. I see why that child kicked off that time. Because if I had arrived work at the time that I normally arrive, you know, if there wasn't any problem at home, then maybe I will, you know, maybe I would have been in trouble. But thank God I didn't arrive earlier. It may be something happens in the course of a journey, and then you find out that, you know, there's a certain distraction. But in that distraction will lie the lesson that you need to continue moving forward. And that's really, really crucial. I was listening to a sermon, by one of I think he's a rabbi from Northampton. He looks after the no. He's the Orthodox, an Orthodox priest in Northampton, and he is also a lecturer at University of Northampton. And he was saying something that I found really interesting. He said in his church that there are so many young couples, and they come to him, and one of the things that they say to him is, you know, we have kids now, there's a lot to do. We don't feel like we are able to serve God the way we used to be able to serve God earlier. So he said he continued to tell them, listen, you know, these jobs that you're doing, all these distractions that you're getting now are still the work of God. You know, you don't have to be doing it in the way that you think you should be doing it for you to have done the work of God. That God knows exactly where we are, what situation that we are, and He's working with us in those situations. It's now left for us to say, you know, yes, you know, I would have done this, I would have done that, if not for this distraction, or if not that I now need more time to do this, or to, you know, be a dad, or to be a husband to my wife, and so on and so forth. Instead of looking at that, you still see that there must be something. There are things in those distractions that will also help you in those journeys. And this is very, very important for us to realize, because it's only when we begin to have this type of view that we'll be able to now say, okay, that's fine. You enjoy that distraction because, you know, you think about it. If you're on the field and you're playing and you have a good coach, sometimes the coach will call you aside. They don't leave you in the game to tell you what to do. Sometimes they'll call you out and say, oh, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And then you go back into the game. That was an obstruction. That was a disruption. But you needed that disruption to recharge and refire to be able to now go back into the field and play. And this is just to, you know, encourage most of us, especially at this stage in our lives where we have things that we believe could be distractions. But in those distractions, we get wisdom. You know, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I know the type of conversations that I've had with my children in the midst of things that's going on in my life, in my work, in my business. And they've said one or two words and you're thinking, okay, so should I not have known that? How come I'm being told, oh, so and so. So seeing that benefit is very, very crucial. The other thing I want to talk about the area of distraction that we find in this state, and this stage of our lives is the fact that if we want to be extraordinary, then, we've got to put in extraordinary effort. Now, we know how our days are, and that whatever success that we're going to achieve will be a result of packing in as much as possible of work, the actual work that's leading to our dreams, into that day. Then we have to think of making sacrifices. It's very, very crucial. We have to think of making sacrifices. It's never going to be a very easy pill to swallow. It's going to be hard because we are pursuing something. You cannot be found, or we cannot be found living our lives the way normal people live it. Personally, the days I used to wake up at 5 o'clock and I have at least 2 hours before my kids wake up, it's a no-brainer, because by the time the day starts, if I'm looking to blog, if I'm looking to podcast, if I'm looking to plan something, if I'm looking to arrange my shop, if I'm looking to make amendments to my business and so on, at least I've had 2 hours into it. Now, if the rest of the day ends up in distraction, from not distraction as in doing nothing or doing something that's not relevant, but distraction as in delivering my role as a husband or as a father or as a brother or as a friend, then you can see that you have those 2 solid hours. And when you think about it, if you make those 2 solid hours your very, very sacred hour, and that you're going to push and use those 2 hours like that's the only 2 hours that you're sure of in the day, trust me, as you move on in that month, in that day, you will begin to see that you will find another 1 hour. But even if you don't find another 1 or 2 or 3 hours during the day, whatever you've covered in those 2 hours that you've given you've taken out to start some work will give you a solid head start. And you can say to yourself, I want to do deep work. I want to do things that's tightly related to my dream, but I need to dedicate 1 hour every day to that. I tell you, 1 hour every day to that, at the end of the month, you would have written a book. You would have written a book if you're a writer. You would have kicked off a business if you're really, really keen on doing that. You would have succeeded in one thing or the other. You would have broken through in one area or the other. So, that's my encouragement, especially to myself, but to all of us. As we look at what we want to achieve, as we look at all the other things surrounding us and our responsibilities at this stage in our lives, we have to think of extra times that we need to put in. What we are doing is not going to be sufficient. If you listen to anybody who has really become extraordinary, who has really achieved a lot, and that's why you see some of the places that the Apostle Paul was writing, he starts enumerating what his struggles have been. He starts enumerating all the obstacles that he has met and so on and so forth. That's just to show us that, look, being great is not something you just stumble at. It's a deliberate action. It's an intentional action. You have to wake up every day. If you do your morning devotions, if you dedicate whatever time you dedicate to it, try and add at least an hour and wake up a little bit earlier and say, I'm going to put in this. And I have every assurance, I have every conviction that the Holy Spirit speaks to you when it's very, very silent. You hear those voices. You hear those voices. I was listening to someone, doing an inspirational speak the other day, and he was saying, they were asking him, so how do you find things that really blow up, that become very big in the world? He says it's because we're listening to the loud voice. We've been told that the voice of God is the loud voice that comes with power and so on. But we need to listen to that soft, small whisper that comes in our ear. And then you ask yourself, when do you hear whispers? Is it when, your family has kicked off? That is the same thing everywhere. You hear whispers when there is quietness. In that quietness of that hour that you're putting in, you hear those whispers. And if you're one that is able to run with those whispers, if you try this for a whole month, there is no way your dream will be at the same stage. And I'm telling you things that I've tried. that has worked and things that have stopped trying that has stalled as well, because it's very important to highlight both sides. And that's why we have to continue to have these conversations around what we're facing, the realities of our lives, because it's very easy to come out here and say, oh, I did this and that worked and did this, I keep crushing it. No, sometimes we fly, sometimes we crawl, sometimes we, it's the same, for all of us. And that's what I wanted to add to that. Thank you very much, Mr. Jordan, for taking us in that direction, because it sort of pulled my mind towards something that I thought was really, really important to highlight for all of us.
That's right. Awesome. Thank you for breaking that one down for us, sir. We are pretty much at the top of the hour, and kind of like need to wrap it up. Just a final thing that I just want to mention here. One of the things that I think that does hold us back is sometimes we don't think that sometimes we think we don't have in our possession what we need to start, or even to start with whatever it is that we are working on. We kind of like need to pay attention what is present in our lives right now, so that number one, it will help us to do away with any excuse, and even if it's a little, even if you don't have all the resources to start going, just start asking myself, what do I need right now, just to start working on going on this pathway of building my dream. Because I think one of the greatest regrets is when we find ourselves 12 months or 6 months down the line, and you and I maybe said, no, the reason why I'm not having a go at it is because I need to have this first. No, whatever it is that you need, I believe strongly that you already have it. If you want to go live on, you say, no, I need to buy myself a camera first. No, use your phone. I need to, I don't know, you will have the conviction of knowing what excuses am I making right now that is a lie. Yeah. I want to leave you guys with that. And you know what, it's possible for us to see some changes in our circumstances once we start moving on it. Once we start moving on it, we will start seeing the results. We'll definitely start seeing the results. We got somebody. Let me just put this on here. Thank you so much. We definitely have to pay the price. That's very important. Say, I will pay the price for the price. Yeah, there's something that you and I have to pay for us to be able to see our dream come to pass. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuned in a few minutes ago. And thank you so much for jumping on. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Gentlemen, thank you so much once again. Let's do this again next week, and let's go for it. That's all I can say. Let's just go for it, because I believe you know already what it is you need to work on. I know already what it is that I need to work on. And I think sometimes it's just like we come on here, you get somebody say something that gives you a bit of a boomer, gives you a bit of a kick off the backside. It's all right. Oops, there we go. I knew that was supposed to happen. So let's just go for it. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for jumping on. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good evening, guys. Thank you very much. Very, very inspiring session.
Bye.
All the best.